on Elon Local News.
Cancellations and delays washed out plans for Elon families over the weekend.
Plus, how community members are picking up the pieces after Ian crossed the Carolinas.
Two Elon staff members join us live to discuss a new campus crime report.
Those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Margaret Faust.
And I'm Haley Phelps. Welcome to Elon Local News.
Campus is still covered with debris today following severe weather from Hurricane Ian that passed through our area over the weekend. Joining us now is our Annemarie Bonner live under the Oaks.
Annemarie, good evening to you.
Hi, thanks Margaret and Haley. I'm out here under the Oaks where there are a lot of branches and debris fallen from over the weekend. As you can see here, this is just one of many out here. And over the weekend, what we did see is a lot of rain, a lot of wind. Wind gusts supposedly reached up to 51 miles per hour, and we did get 3.2 inches of rain. So when you think about that, that has a big impact on the campus as we look ahead to the future of the cleanup. Later on in the show, we will have more on recovery and what that looks like specifically here on Elon's campus. We talked to landscapers and they will have more information for you in a little bit. But our Brett Turnbull will be out here later on in the show to give you a little bit more look as to what the weather is going to look like throughout the rest of the week and what weather we should expect, and if we're going to see any more rain like we did over the weekend. I mean, that's it for me out here. Back to you in the studio.
Annemarie Bonner, live outside under the Oaks. Thank you so much. While some parents and students braced for inclement weather on campus, others didn't make it to campus at all. Several Elon students had to face their first family weekend without family here. Our Sydney Spencer reports.
While some students and their families experienced a change of on-campus plans, others never made it to campus at all. Elon freshman Addison Fry is from Orlando, Florida. Her family experienced heavy damage from the hurricane, causing them to miss family weekend.
I felt really guilty because I knew that my family they had to wade through waist-deep water to go get to one of their cars and go check on my grandma. And I felt bad because I was just going about my day here.
Elon freshman Danny Rudd is from Sarasota, Florida, and says she is used to dealing with severe weather. She has a twin sister who attends the University of Florida. Her parents were going to divide and conquer both family weekends, but her mom, Wendy, says they had to cancel their plans at the last minute.
Even then, I felt guilty for not coming because all the parents still seemed to be coming and Elon wasn't canceling.
Danny says being away from her family for the first time during a hurricane was especially difficult.
It's obviously different, being away from home, because here it's so pretty and it's hard to comprehend that it's so, awful down there right now.
Wendy says that even when Ian shifted its path, she was confident that both of her children would be safe.
I know that they're safe. I have faith in the school. I have faith in the hands of the people that I put my kids in.
Both families are looking forward to reuniting when their children go home for fall break. Sydney Spencer, Elon Local News.
Addison and Danny are just two of 249 Elon students from Florida, according to the Registrar's Office. To view all of our Hurricane Ian coverage, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Branches, sticks, and leaves are left over after Hurricane Ian came through campus over the weekend. Now it's up to landscaping staff to clean up campus. Raking and dumping, that's pretty much the rhythm of storm cleanup. Elon gardener Dylan Hubbard is one of the 25 facility management workers helping out. Hubbard says it's tedious work.
This is the first big wind we've had the whole year, so every little stick that was up in the tree is just falling out, so now it's just it's multiplied. Usually we do little by little going into the winter time, but it's just all at once right now.
Hubbard predicts it will take up to 2 weeks to pick up all the debris.
Severe weather also means a week of recovery for small farms and businesses in our area that participate in the Authentically Alamance Farmers Market in downtown Elon. Craven Smith is the owner of Smith Farms in Gibsonville. He says he and his workers prepared for the weather by harvesting and putting away what's currently growing, like pumpkins and mums. He says the end of summer crops like tomatoes, corn, and melons were completely wiped out.
It's frustrating, but on the other hand, you have to look at Florida. So, I mean, you know, when you think it's bad, it's worse somewhere else. So you just overlook it and, you know, hope for the best and expect the worst.
Smith Farms provides local vegetables to restaurants in Burlington. Smith says when reservations and catering orders get canceled, it's a chain reaction that affects his business.
It's a wash up. They will not do another parents' weekend, and then in the retail business, you never gain a Saturday back.
The farmers market will be back this Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. in the Elon Community Church parking lot.
While Hurricane Ian was mostly the news this weekend, the university released a number of important updates after campus closed on Friday afternoon. One of which was the annual Fire and Safety Report, which details crime from 2021 on our main campus, law school, and off-campus property controlled by the university.
Campus Police Chief Joe Lemire joins us live to discuss data from this report. The interview does reference sexual harassment and rape. Viewer discretion is advised.
Chief Lemire, thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me.
So what stood out from you in the 2021 Fire and Safety Report? What were kind of your main takeaways from that?
Well, I think there were two areas that we saw some increases were sexual violence, rape, and an increase in dating violence that we saw from the previous 2 years. So 2021 saw an increase of about 7 from that, which seems like a high number. But to us, there's some positive lining to that. When you see an increase like that, if we know that 5 to 15% of sexual violence is experienced by women and men on college campuses, that's kind of a higher number than that, but people don't always report. So if you're reporting 0, that doesn't mean there's 0 sexual violence. So an increase sometimes is we built the infrastructure to get people to report to campus. We have Title IX, we have police, we have victim advocacy, we have counseling. An increase sometimes tells you that more people are coming forward and getting the services that they need. So that stuck out as it's a negative because you never want to see any sexual violence, but it's also a positive to know that people are getting the help that they need. Sometimes you want to see that part of it, while then in the future you get that number down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does this number that was released on Friday include student conduct cases? Are they required to report cases to you?
Yep, so we usually report from the police first, then you go to conduct, then you go to Title IX and counseling and some other areas that are confidential in nature. So they don't give us the names necessarily, but we get the numbers. So it should be encompassing of all that. That gets reported to the various areas, including victim advocacy.
And what are the advantages to reporting to the police as opposed to just reporting it through student conduct anonymously?
Well, on a college campus, there are so many resources that are available. Dating violence, domestic violence, sexual assault are all power crimes, and you really want to get that power back. And some of that power is getting that help, helping with the self-esteem, helping yourself physically, medical care, all that stuff that might go with it, and then helping you through the process. But we build it up so if you report it to the police, you don't have to pursue prosecution. If you report it to Title IX, the power is on your side to decide how you want to handle it. So telling people to report it does not pigeonhole them in the way to handle it. We put the power back in the person to let them decide, how do I want to do this? What's best for me personally? If they want prosecution, then we pursue it with them. If they want the Title IX process or the conduct process, they have those choices. We never tell someone you have to pursue it through the police. We're there to help.
And building off of that, how do you establish trust between your officers and the victim to encourage reporting?
So we go through a lot of training. Right now we're building up a sensitive crimes team in the police department. So we have male and female officers that their specialty will be dealing with sensitive crimes. Sometimes that's sexual assault, sometimes it's race-based crimes, religion-based crimes. But we also worked with other agencies on campus. We just found out that we got the grant through the Office of Violence Against Women campus grant to reduce sexual violence, relationship violence, and stalking. And that money is going to go towards those resources. It's going to go towards training, and it's going to go towards training in collaboration with off-campus, so we can work with the town of Elon, who often deals with our students if a crime is committed off-campus, gender-based.
Well, Chief Lemire, thank you so much for joining us.
We really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Elon Local News returns right after these messages.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. Joining us now is Title IX Coordinator Molly Zlock. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So this report, obviously, you know, it was a loaded one. And the first thing I want to know, what stuck out to you in this report?
Sure. I think what Chief Lumiere said is I'm going to echo exactly what he said, that while the numbers have gone up, I do think that they're reflective of how many more training opportunities we're doing, how much more prevention programming we're doing. So that means a lot more people know how to report and the importance of reporting. And so we're going to see those increased numbers when we have those initiatives on campus. The other part of it that I just want to give a little bit of context to is that these numbers don't necessarily mean that that's when the incidents took place. So the annual security report reflects when the university received the information. Okay, so often that means that the incident happened even a couple of years ago because of a person's own processing time that they want to take, but also because they might not have known that they could report.
Right.
And the report says the university wants to eliminate and prevent sexual and gender-based violence and harassment, and, quote, measures will be used to reasonably ensure that such conduct ends, is not repeated, and the effects on the complaint and community are remedied. So that's a big goal.
Right.
Is that possible?
I hope so. I do hope so. I will say any kind of a reporting generates into data, and the university, the Title IX office, is using that data to then provide information back to the university, really kind of identifying trends, where are we seeing these things happen, when are they happening, to who they're happening. And by doing that, we can also increase those educational initiatives and start really kind of fine-lining what our community is needing to know regarding this type of behavior. So through those prevention efforts and through that data gathering and then giving it back to the university, we're hoping that we can better educate our community.
Yeah, so speaking of education, from what I understand, the only mandatory education that new students have to participate in is the sexual assault prevention undergraduate course offered by EverFi.
That's right.
Is that enough? Is there more that can be done?
Yes. Well, I will say student athletes do have to go through a different training as well. They have to go through specific Title IX training, and that's that's mandated through the NCAA. But yeah, I mean, of course, we want to encourage more people to come out to our programs and our training. The GLC is really the folks that are in charge of doing our prevention programming, and they really have such great programs available to our community. They talk a lot about like healthy relationships, and you saw that increase in dating violence, so that would certainly be a great program for folks to kind of learn about where are the red flags in a relationship and when is it time maybe to leave a relationship before it gets to that place where we're talking dating violence. So definitely we would love to see more folks come out to our programs. We hope to work with other departments at the university to see different ways we can get the message to our community as well.
Got it.
So this is a hard topic, and the information in the report could be overwhelming. I know that there was a lot of it. So bottom line, what is most important for students to know, and what do you think should be the biggest takeaway from this report?
Oh, I think the most important thing for students to know, again, is that context. This does not mean that we had that many incidents in that particular year, right? And again, no, as Chief Lumiere said, we don't feel that we have an increase of the behavior. We're seeing increased reports because of all the efforts that we're putting into making sure that folks know how to report. But the most important thing I would say for the Title IX office in particular is that people know that we have supportive measures and resources that we can offer them. So we really are trying very hard to respond to the impact of sexual misconduct in our community and to provide those resources and supportive measures to those that need them.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Student resources, materials, and other details from the report are on our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Now live under the Oaks for a live look at the weather this week is Brett Turnbull.
Brett, good evening to you.
Good evening. As Annemarie mentioned earlier on in the show, we are still dealing with some remnants and debris brought on to us by Hurricane Ian this past weekend. Now looking on later into the week, hopefully I can have some good news for Elon students who endured the tough weathers over the past weekend. Looking on through the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing temperatures rise into the 70s as we get into this weekend as our nationally ranked Phoenix football team takes on the Towson Tigers at 2 p.m. at Rhodes Stadium. We're going to have some beautiful fall weather at kickoff, and we're looking for a good game then. Be aware as the nighttime comes and as we're experiencing right now here under the Oaks, temperatures are going to be dropping into that 40 and 30 degree range, so make sure you have your winter jacket prepared as you hit the campus at night. That's all for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. I'm Brett Turnbull. Now back to
Thank you so much.
3 candidates looking to fill the role of academic provost will be making their case to the Elon community beginning tomorrow. A provost is a position directly under the president of a university and deals with long-term student planning, academics, and various other matters.
The provost is also the vice president for academic affairs. Rebecca Kahn, Elizabeth Zayers, and Robert Aguirre have been announced as finalists. Rebecca Kahn is the senior vice provost at Arcadia University. She is set to present tomorrow.
Elizabeth Sayers is the executive vice president and provost at Ohio University. She is set to present Wednesday. Robert Aguirre is the dean of the College of Arts and Letters at James Madison University. He is set to present on Thursday. Each candidate will speak from 4 to 5 p.m. in McCoy Commons, located in the Oaks neighborhood, on their respective days.
Each presentation will be followed by a question and answer session. It's also important to note that Aguirre and Sayers were not available for comment, and Kahn did not respond to Elon News Network's request for comment.
Belk Library always has books on display that reflect current events, but as Hispanic Heritage Month continues, the books on display highlight Hispanic and Latinx authors. Dean of Belk Library, Joan Rule, says the novels are not retold stories, but are more personal and original accounts. She says the display has a variety of books that speak to all audiences.
In the library, we think about how do we create a space where everyone feels comfortable, how do we make sure we have collections that represent everybody's experiences, and also how do we create opportunities for people to learn something outside of their own experience. So we just want to try to create, to make sure the library is contributing to a campus culture where everybody feels welcome and can thrive here.
Elon freshman Chloe Pereira says she is excited about this arrangement. She says she appreciates seeing representation for the Hispanic and Latinx community on campus.
It just feels nice to be at a school where people are actually listening and paying attention. And I know they've held so many events kind of focusing on Hispanic heritage, which is really comforting. And it's nice to know that people know oh, I exist here. You know?
If you want to learn more about the books, you can check out any of the novels on display through October 15th.
And coming up, it was a new win for one Elon sport team and the recognition for another one. Elon football is up in the rankings today following its win against the University of Richmond. The team is now 14th in the stats Perform Top 25 poll.
Let's go, Elon! Elon's first challenge was not its opponent, but Hurricane Ian. Trisciani says the team has been watching the weather in the days leading up to the game.
We prepared for the worst and hoped for the best, and we got the best.
Trisciani says the defense played a big part in securing the team's win. Senior Marcus Hillman says he was happy with the pressure the Phoenix put on Richmond.
And that, just comes with relentless effort and pursuit to the football. We stress getting everyone to the football, 11 people to the football.
The leading wide receiver was senior Bryson Daughtry. He had 4 catches totaling 134 yards and a touchdown. Daughtry says the team has a strong receivers and is full of playmakers who can change the game.
Whoever's number's called, step up and make a play.
But it was the rushing touchdown by Jalen Hampton that won them the game in double overtime, winning 30-24. This was Elon's first overtime win since defeating Towson in double overtime in 2017.
Mason Willett, Elon Local News.
That was our Mason Willett reporting. And Elon will host Towson this weekend on Saturday at home. The team is now 4-1 in season and is 2-0 in conference play.
Elon University's dance team got its new bling this weekend after becoming national champions in April. Elon senior Devin Battaglia says getting the ring put her back in the winning mindset like she experienced in April.
Being a national champion has probably been one of the best experiences of my entire life. It really shows that hard work pays off, and every hour of blood, sweat, and tears that we have put into this, it was the most rewarding feeling in the world.
Elon sophomore Juliet Baldwin says it was an unforgettable moment. Members of the team received the rings at halftime during Saturday's home football game against Richmond.
So whenever we all opened up our boxes all at the same time, it was so emotional. We were all crying, and it was just so much happiness, and all of our hard work, it just paid off, and we were so excited to be sharing this special moment together.
The dance team has a special performance coming up on October 21st. It will perform during halftime at the Charlotte Hornets home opener.
This week, one campus group is creating a new kind of learning environment. The Office of Sustainability is hosting its 4th annual Sustainability Week, and it kicks off today. The purpose of this week is to promote sustainable habits on campus and to give the local community time to reflect on their habits. Assistant Director of Sustainability for Education and Outreach, Kelly Hare, says although the Office of Sustainability holds different events throughout the year, having an entire week dedicated to sustainability makes a larger impact on the Elon community.
We do a lot of education, and we do a lot of just helping us think about sustainability. When it has its own week, it gets a lot of attention, and we're able to help people think through their own sustainable choices because, as you know, we're very busy at Elon, so dedicating a week really allows people that time to think about it.
There will be prizes for students and faculty who attend events this week. More information about the prizes and a calendar of events are available on our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
That's all the news we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.